Private ownership is an obstacle to the ascension of human civilization. Reply to Qi Lu Rong Rong. Xiefeng. April 23, 2023. Translation edited by Qinyu. 400 years ago, the great English philosopher John Locke penned the second treatise of civil government, laying the foundation for modern Western civilization. The might of present-day America is directly linked to this treatise. It can be said that without the second treatise, there wouldn't be the Western civilization of today, let alone the powerful America we see now. Every prominent figure, whether a thinker, philosopher, scientist, or politician, is bound by the constraints of their time. They cannot perceive everything or solve all problems. John Locke was great, but that does not mean all his thoughts were correct, or that his ideas were entirely correct for his time. As time progresses, ideas can become outdated. It's akin to a brilliant carriage driver in an era of automobiles. No matter how skilled they are in driving carriages, they do not fit the traffic rules and license requirements of the automobile era. John Locke said, "Private ownership is the foundation of human civilization. If your wealth is not yours, would you still strive? If your son is not yours, would you still raise him and send him to school? If your wife is public, would you still cherish her?" The concept of private ownership constitutes the basis of all human civilization, is the foundation of human morality, and also the law of nature. Mr. Qi Lu Rong Rong brought up the above view and asked me, "Guide, while this passage seems reasonable in human society, from the perspective of Lifechanyuan, it's evidently incorrect. To reach higher levels, we must negate this passage and transcend this viewpoint. What do you think?" Certainly, the discourse on dimensions has become prevalent. Distinct dimensions offer entirely different perspectives and cognitions. Those standing on the same dimension generally share similar stances and viewpoints. However, those at a higher dimension find the stance and viewpoints of those on a lower dimension rather laughable. While I hesitate to assert that I stand on a dimension higher than John Locke, it's evident that his viewpoint does not align with the advanced form of human civilization. The alignment of human selfishness with a higher form of civilization is questionable. Private ownership is not only the core factor generating conflicts, contradictions, turmoil, wars in human society, but also the chief culprit squandering natural resources leading to deforestation, land desertification, water and atmospheric pollution, and the ecological trend toward collapse. Without abolishing private ownership, the prospect of sustainable human development is not just a concern but a cause for despair. In the universe, there exist 20 different types of civilizations, each distinct from the others. The civilization represented by XYZ is entirely different from XYZ. Even within XYZ, the difference from XYZ is profound. I've examined several forms of cosmic civilizations, and it's safe to say that the more advanced a civilization, the further it is from human selfishness and the concept of private ownership. If we confine ourselves to human society, we can never imagine the patterns of other civilizations. In guiding human society toward a more advanced civilization, Lifechanyuan has undertaken experiments on Earth for the past 14 years, experimenting with a non-ownership model, which differs from both private and public ownership. This non-ownership model is a replicated form of the most human-like patterns of civilization found in the universe. Through the experiments conducted over the past 14 years, we have learned that people can attain complete selflessness. The more selfless a person is, the more they can enjoy the pleasures of life and the wonders of life. Conversely, those entrenched in selfishness tend to encounter a life filled with hardships, pain, and anxiety. Private ownership serves as a breeding ground for human selfishness. John Locke's analysis and judgment were rooted in the assumption of inherent human selfishness. However, he overlooked the notion that human nature conforms to the cosmic holographic theory. Humans exhibit both selfish and selfless tendencies, akin to possessing humane, animalistic, and divine traits. The diverse soil, environment, and circumstances in which humans live lead to the manifestation of various aspects of human nature. Much like how the south and north regions of the Huai River yield oranges and trifoliate oranges respectively based on environmental differences. If wealth is not yours, wouldn't you make an effort? If a child is not yours, wouldn't you raise and educate them? If a wife is considered a shared entity, wouldn't you cherish her? These three questions stem from a primitive, animalistic mindset. Without delving into theoretical analysis, observing two instances, the Lifechanyuan second home model and the thousand-year world model, which is closest to human society, where private ownership of wealth does not exist. However, in these places, everyone works diligently. Although children are not biologically related, everyone willingly raises and educates them. Similarly, there's no concept of individual wives, yet everyone respects women and values relationships between men and women. Genuine individuality arises from selflessness, and self-discovery unfolds through self-abandonment. To have everything, one must possess nothing. John Locke's understanding fails to grasp this concept. Therefore, the conclusion is that private ownership is not the foundation of human civilization but rather an obstacle to its advancement.